What top items for you gals give you the ick?
A guy who talks a lot.
Talks a lot about anything specific, or just talks too much?
Like, just talks too much about their feelings. Like, I don't want to know about it.
Okay, so you don't want a guy crying on your shoulder like a little.
Rich,
Yeah.
I think what happened is when someone certain traits comes with personality. Like for example, when women says, I want to have a guy who likes, who can talk to me, like you wouldn't get a guy who is successful who wants to talk to you about your feelings. Like it just doesn't exist. That's why you need a girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me, if I know for a fact if a guy have too much time to talk, it's a red flag.
Oh, no.
Like they have too much time in their hands. Like they should be doing something with their life, talking about feelings. Like they should be able to manage that emotion. They should be doing all that. Like so I don't like guys who like to talk.
Okay. Anything else from the other girls?
Like, I don't know, for me, like, I guess a personal, like, I guess two, and one would be someone that has like no motivation, right? That has no motivation in their career or just in life in general. Like because I would like someone that would be motivated, that could support a potential family, right? And be able to give in that way. But also for me, it's like guys that only will talk about themselves. Like I've gone out with them and like you try and like add to the conversation. They'll never like elaborate on what you're talking about. Cause like what you're talking about might not completely interest me, but it's about you. So I'm interested to learn about you. Right. Like I've listened to men talk about like working out, and I don't go to the gym, but I'll listen and I'll engage in it because it's a, something that's interesting to them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you just have someone that's just very one-sided in communication, that's a bit of a turnoff for me. The
level of ambition that you're looking for, like how much money does it have to make? Like what sort of income would you need for you?
See, but I don't know. I don't have a number, right? It's just, you just have to have something that's reliable, right? Like something because I've gone out with someone, it was like a long time ago, and he hopped, like he was a hopper, and he jumped from job to job. And then every time he would apply for jobs that he wasn't qualified for, but then would talk as though he had done this job for 15 years and he'd never, like a masonry, he had never laid brick in his life, right? It was just like, I guess I want stability, right? Yeah. So someone that has a job that's stable.
Yeah, you've got a good stable job. I mean, you'll always have a job because the healthcare system is always going to need you there. You've got yourself unionized, probably, I would imagine, in Manitoba too, right? Nurses make over 100,000 there?
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I do because, I work a lot of overtime. So yes, I do.
So, I mean, if you had a stable guy that works, I don't know, at the counter at Shoppers Drug Mart, dispensing the pharmaceuticals, makes, I don't know, whatever he makes, 60, 70 grand or something like that. Like, is that sufficient? Like, is that a stable job?
It's stable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, would it be
money?
Yeah, because like I'm not looking at someone for like the dollar sign, right? Because like I was raised very moderate, like you know what I mean. I guess like you say like lower mid-level income, and so I don't have value on things, right? Like I just don't have the value on that, and so if someone is able to provide me like you know what I mean, just like the security emotionally, like just to have someone in my life that way, that's more important to me.
Do you find that most of the guys that you go out with don't meet that criteria of being stable and ambitious?
No, the ones that I have gone out with have all been stable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that you've expressed interest, they haven't chosen you back, sort of thing. There's just no real connection, or it's just sexual for them or something like that.
The last like long-term relationship I was in it was like, I call it toxic because it was like a light switch. It was on and off for like 2.5 years. Right. So it was a very toxic relationship, and he was stable, but it was just a very, very toxic relationship. And so it just ended up not working because of like the negative history that kept getting brought into it every time we would like try again.
What was the light switch turning on and off?
Oh, that's what I call it. Cause it was like, what was it? Our relationship, like we were on again, off again, on again, off again. So I called it like a light switch.
Okay. So you're like breaking up and getting back together.
Yeah, it was very unhealthy, but like at the end of the day, no one forced me to go back to him. I chose it every time. Right. So I can't blame anyone but myself for that. So
what were the breakups over?
It was just a lot of messiness with his ex, and he didn't have the boundaries set there. And so there was just lots of infiltration.
Ex-wife or?
I guess like ex-girlfriend. Like he had children with her. It was just like an ex.
Oh,
so
okay. So
yeah. It was a very toxic relationship there, and he didn't have the boundaries set for our relationship. So it just kind of always overflowed into ours and caused most of the issues.
I want to come back to you and hear from you a little bit on your experience dating a guy with kids. Mandy, we're talking about the ick. What's your top ick items?
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, maybe not having a car, because I feel like, I don't know, living in LA, you kind of need a car, and expecting me to like come to you and pick you up and come to you and pick you up, or like send you an Uber. How many times I've been told like send me an Uber is ridiculous.
Men have asked you to send them an Uber to pick them
Yeah,
up?
and I will like immediately stop talking to you if you ask me for money. Like, unless we're like committed and we've been going strong and you're like struggling, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna be there. But if we're just barely getting to know each other, like in like the first like month or something, then
Okay.
I'm hitting the block button.
Muff, we're at the point where dudes are asking women to send them an Uber.
I mean, it's kind of common for like OnlyFans girls, if you're like talking to someone, that they're very common to ask for money. Like pretty
They ask you for money.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you end up being like a sugar mama.
They try me.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was something else you were about to say?
I don't know.
There's got to be more than that. I mean,
I don't know.
no car is a huge one. Like, I don't think we've heard that yet on this show. Like, I think that would be like everybody would say that, but I mean, it's funny that you have a specific experience in that.
Yeah, it's kind of different. Oh, if like you get mad at me for like working rather than like going out all the time, like I need somebody who is probably just as a homebody as I am. Because I kind of went through like my clubbing phase with my friends and everything. So like hopefully somebody like who's not in their club phase anymore. And like we can go out once in a while with our friends, but like if you're going out all the time, probably not.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.